Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
For today's video, we'll be assisted by Glibby. She'll be helping us through this guide on the survival secondary profession unique to Turtle WoW. Our first mission is to visit Stranglethorn Vale and speak with S.J. Earlgadden and Rufus Hardwick of Nestlingwary's expedition. S.J. Earlgadden has the quest that you need to complete to learn the survival secondary profession, and Rufus Hardwick sells the plans for the Traveler's Tent, which is the majority of the player's goal, since it gives the Great Rested XP boost once every 2 hours for 20 minutes. There are 2 items you will have to purchase to complete the quest, and together those cost 80 silver. If you can though, bring 1 gold or preferably 2 gold, 50 silver. That will allow you to buy everything you need to start leveling the profession and let you buy the plans for the tent right then, so then you don't have to make 2 trips. But in today's video we are going to be making a couple trips. I just wanted to show you the long version of getting this completed so that you could find your own ways to make it a bit shorter. On the left here we've got Deknal, level 22 warrior. And on the right, we've got Glibby, our mage assistant. She is also level 22. Deknal started in Orgrimmar, and Glibby started from Darkshire in Duskwood. Both take about 6 to 8 minutes to complete, barring any deaths or PvP if you have War Mode enabled, which both characters do. Thankfully, I was able to avoid any interactions with the opposite faction that were negative and might slow us down, but even if I had, I would have kept him in because it's a possibility, and that could happen here. If you're wondering what War Mode is, Turtle WoW offers a few different options while leveling to give you different rewards or benefits, and in this case, War Mode gives you 30% more XP. I will go into more in depth on that later on. I will have a leveling video, I don't know when, but eventually I will have one. I have a lot of clips saved for such a video. It's just down to the time I have available. Now that they both reached the camp, we will go ahead and accept the quest from Sir S.J. Earlgadden. And he's going to ask us to gather 3 materials. Those materials are a coil of sturdy rope, cheap goblin's oil, and a wooden club. Now, the vendor in Nestlingwary's expedition does sell the coil of sturdy rope. The wooden club is found just to the right of her and behind her in the wood pile here. You can see Glibby grabbing that. And Deknal as well. After that, you need to visit Booty Bay to purchase the last item required, the cheap goblin's oil. We're going to go ahead and hearth back to Stormwind. Quickest way for Alliance at this level to get to Booty Bay without having been there before is by talking to the fight promoter and heading to the arena in Stranglethorn Vale. And then from there we are just going to turn around, head out of the arena, and head south. Do our best to avoid any NPCs. If we run into enemy players, no worries, we can just respawn in Booty Bay, either take res sickness or just death flop our way down there. Fortunately though, for this video, neither of those happened. Bear in mind that the cheap goblin's oil does require 45 silver, and the coil of sturdy rope is 35 silver. Mazik Snipe Shot, the engineering supply vendor in Booty Bay, sells the cheap goblin oil. After purchasing the goblin oil, don't forget to grab the flight path if you're Horde or Alliance. It will save you a lot of time later. For the sake of time, we've gone ahead and shown Glibby returning and completing the quest. It shows the quest rewards. You will learn the survival secondary profession, and they will give you 1 unlit pour torch. These torches are what you use to level up the survival skill early on very quickly. As you can see here, Glibby is adding her bright campfire and the survival profession to her profession's action bar. However you do that, I would definitely recommend that you add them to your action bars wherever you prefer. Save yourself the time just like with your other professions. You are given 1 unlit poor torch, but I recommend purchasing 100. You'll see why in just a moment. We're going to go ahead and create 100 of these. The most annoying thing about these torches is they do not stack as you create them, so you're going to have to delete them as you go. Each torch requires 1 unlit poor torch and a campfire. I would also recommend purchasing the Traveler's Tent plans for 1 gold 50 silver now, just to save the trip back once you get to 75 survival. Let's go ahead and start the journey to 75 survival and being able to make our own tent. As you can see here, Glibby is going to start making a whole bunch of these torches, and I will start deleting them as they are created. Since they don't stack, you can quickly fill your inventory, and it's quite annoying, but this is the fastest route that I know of to get to at least 50 survival. I want to emphasize getting to 50 survival at least if you can, making these torches, because getting from 50 to 75 is a time-consuming process to say the least. You'll notice that when you learn the survival skill, you also learn how to make a bright campfire, and this will take you from 50 to 75 survival. Is the campfire is on a 5-minute cooldown, so you'll have to create one every time it's available to you. I recommend either going out and questing and just creating one as soon as it comes off cooldown, putting it on your toolbar somewhere you can see it, so it's kind of just something that naturally happens as you go. Or you could sit in town, obviously, and create campfires every 5 minutes while AFK doing another project. After purchasing the tent pattern, Glibby can now make a tent for us right here outside of Stormwind. And as you can see, the Alliance have a blue canvas tent. For the Horde, they get a red canvas tent. Both will give you an XP bonus to either faction. That is quite nice, especially when set up in the arena together. Quick note about that, in the arena, if you are PvP flagged, you can be ganked, so be aware of that. A safer location is either Goldshire, which can also get raided by the Horde, or the Gates of Stormwind is where I typically set up. Sometimes I set up out in the wild if I'm going to be AFK for a little bit, but I like to be kind and considerate as often as possible, so I set it up where others can take advantage of it. It's also a good way to meet people in-game and have a little light RP if you're interested. While the Traveler's Tent is the most popular survival item, there is also the fishing boat, and to help us demonstrate that, we will get Phalanis in here. To make a fishing boat, you will need 15 simple wood and 1 handful of copper bolts. Make sure you hang onto those copper bolts, because if you choose to go into gardening, you will need them for the planter's boxes. More on that in our next video. The boat itself provides 50 fishing skill for 1 hour, as well as lasting for an hour, and with a cooldown of 2 hours. Anyone else on the boat does not get that bonus, however. I did have some trouble getting back onto the boat with Phalanis after I'd gone off. Glibby was able to just hop right on, but as an elf, I could not get on the same way. I actually had to jump at almost a 45-degree angle towards the rudder on the boat. So try entering from the backside if you're having trouble getting onto a boat, if you've fallen off, or you're trying to join a friend on the boat. In conclusion, let's take a look at what's required to complete the quest for survival, what's required for the tents, and what's required for the fishing boat. And last but not least, of course, do not forget to bring enough money with you. This will save you a lot of headache. And that's it for this guide. I'd like to thank Glibby for helping out. You guys have a good one and take care. I will catch you in the next one.